Well, hello. So good to see you. I missed you. I missed everybody. It was only a week, but it was a long week. And I missed being here.
That's fantastic. I felt the same way, Nicole. I know there's so much going on in your life, and I couldn't wait to hear what was happening. I mean, not only, of course, what's going on, business wise, but also personally. I'm excited about so many questions I have as far as what happened to you since the last time we did the show.
What happened to me? Well, a lot happened to me. I mean, a lot. Well, first of all, if you haven't seen the After Baywatch Moment in the Sun docuseries on Hulu, please go check it out. Um, Great. It was received so well received. People really enjoying it. People really loved it. And that just makes me so happy because, listen, it was a labor of love. So there was no monetary gain out of this documentary. It really was for the passion and for the love and the storytelling and the fact that, people are loving it. It makes everything so worth it. And Matt Felker just did such a great job directing it. And Disney, Hulu, ABC, they win. They
Yeah.
win. And we win. We win by getting to work with them and be on their streamer. And working with them is amazing. I've worked with them throughout my 45 years in the business, and it's always been a pleasure, and this time was no different. Class acts. And it's great. It's great. It's been nonstop press, nonstop. But I really challenged myself, and I feel like my body kind of turned a corner with this by having so much on my plate, and especially being in New York for a week. LA lifestyle is so lazy compared to New York lifestyle. I mean, let's just face it. I thought I was going on walks and doing some
Yeah.
stairs, and I thought, like, okay, all right, being in New York really pushed me. And by the end of the trip, I was like able to get up the stairs without, like being a creepy heavy breather.
Really.
And yeah, it
Like
really
it got
pushed
you
me.
in shape. Yeah,
It really,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
because yeah, my body, I gained 40 something pounds with this treatment. And so the chemo's super hard on the muscles and the bones. And then to
Yes.
put all that extra weight on it, my knees, my back, they're not happy with me. They are like my lungs, my heart, it's not happy. It's not happy with this extra weight. So it's double the work. So I really felt like I pushed myself super hard, and I turned a corner, I feel like. So I need to figure out how to keep that up now that I'm back in lazy LA.
All right, I have so many questions, but the way my brain works as I get older, like I have to ask the question while it's there, since you
Uh-huh.
you went in that direction. I always tell people when they go to New York, because you go to New York a lot. It's one of those things I've started doing a lot over the last 5 years, where I've always said my entire life, I just want to go to New York, and I just didn't go. There was always something, but now I try and go at least once a year. Like I really love being there. So I tell people who say, that sounds great. What's it like? And I always say, be ready to walk, but be ready to walk at a really fast pace. And like it's like everyone is determined they're going somewhere. They aren't just going for your stroll unless you're in Central Park. There's business to be done and get out of the way. So I said, you got to go pretty fast. Now I'm 6'3". You're obviously shorter than I am, but in your mind, as you said, you're recovering from a sickness, and you're going, I gotta kind of keep up too. Otherwise it feels like you get knocked over by a wave at the beach. I mean, people are moving. Like, did you feel like, hey, everybody's on me, like I'm doing the best I can, or did you just
Um,
adapt pretty fast?
I mean, I tried really hard to keep up, and my little one is so cute because she would hang back with me and she would hold my hand and say, "You okay? Do you need to slow down?" And a couple times I did need to slow down, but I don't know. I really tried to keep up. I really tried. Luckily, my daughter lives out in Brooklyn, and her neighborhood is super family oriented, so people
Yeah,
do stroll there,
good,
which
good.
was such a relief for me. However, there are flights of stairs that are so steep; it's like mountain climbing to get to her place. So I had that ahead of me. Going up and down was a challenge, but by the end, like I said, I was doing it, and I was doing it at a
Yeah,
good pace.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And now I
Yeah.
know you were in Manhattan because we saw you on Good Morning America. Saw you
Mhm.
moving around. All right, here's here's a germ freak thing of mine that maybe I'm the only one that's ridiculous enough to do this, but I'm gonna bring it up because maybe you're as crazy as I am. I travel with like Clorox wipes, or I'll buy them when I'm there. And then after every day, I gotta clean the hell out of my shoes on the bottom and the sides. And I'm just like, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. I know it's New York City. It's dirtier than most, but still, I don't like to bring my shoes into the same place I'm going to be sleeping. So I clean the hell out of my shoes just because of everything you step in. And it obviously smells like urine when you're in Manhattan, right? I mean, people going to the bathroom on the street. We know what
Yes.
happens.
And
Or the
dogs.
subways
Dogs and
and
humans.
dogs.
Yes.
You're right. Good point. And dogs. So am I not doing this, or are you one of those that are thinking, man, I have stepped in probably a lot of urine today?
Well, I do think that, and I do tend to take my shoes off when I enter. So like we always just we're usually immediately barefoot and stripping our clothes before we even make it
Yeah.
to the bedroom and are back in our pajamas. So
Yeah.
I don't really wear the shoes around the house a whole
Okay.
bunch because I'm with you
Yes.
on that. Um,
Good. I'm not crazy. All right, maybe we're both crazy, but good. I'm glad you said that. I always feel like people stared at me. Like, what's wrong with you? But no, I'm just like you. I different clothes. Those clothes are not worn in the house because they were out there. And I'm not like that all the time. I'm just when I'm in a city like that or Chicago or somewhere where I just know there's a ton of traffic. I kind
yeah.
of get that germ thing. I don't know what it is, but
I think I'm more conscious of my hands, like I don't touch anything. So, that was like funny, like struggling up the stairs, but not touching the hand railing. It's kind of like leaning with my elbow, leaning with the back of my arm up the stairs. Oh man, but no, I don't want to touch anything. So yeah, I'm constantly with my hands in the air. But it
love
was
it.
great. And I went to Chicago. I went to see Chicago with Ariana Madix.
How great is that?
It was so great. It was so fun. She was fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, what a fun show. What a great production. My friend Alyssa Milano is set. She's in line to do Roxy Next. She goes in like
Yeah.
12 days or something like that. So I went to see Isaac Mizrahi does a cabaret show, and Alyssa was performing one of the songs from Chicago there. So we went and watched that at a very fun little intimate club called 54 Below, which ironically was literally like half a block from my hotel. So
Wow.
it was fantastic. Everything was all right there. And it really worked out. It was such a fun trip. It was such a memorable trip. Yeah, it was really a good time.
How how many days did you get in New York?
I was there 6
Okay, that's good.
days. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask about your daughters in a second, but did you walk the Brooklyn Bridge? Did you get a chance to
I
enjoy the city, or
didn't.
was it too warm?
We talked
Okay.
about it. And we didn't do it because it was so humid. It was so humid and
Yeah,
hot, and I just wasn't sure that I would make it all the way. And
yeah,
then, like, I mean, I think I would have, but my body was already like, when I would go to bed at night, my body was really, really aching, like deep
yeah.
bone aches from just walking normal stuff during the day. So I was like, if I add another walk across the bridge, I might, really hurt myself. My feet were killing me. But I really want to do it. I think I'll do it next time for sure.
Just looking at you right now, in the squares, we're doing Perfectly Twisted. You look so much healthier right now than you did just even 2 weeks ago. Like you look great, and I know you've been extremely busy, but you can see it in your skin. You can see it in your hair, even that you look. You're making strides. You're coming back. You're bouncing back.
Coming back to life.
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
gearing up for surgery. I have surgery soon, so I'm
Okay,
trying to get as healthy as I can, help my body along
good.
with, with that process. You got to laugh though. So my daughter has a cat, and they adopted another cat when they moved into their new place. There was this cat outside that walked up to them and found them, and they adopted this cat. So, anyways, I'm sitting there with them, and they start fighting, these two.
The cats.
And
Oh boy.
I mean, they're going at each other. And I try to break it up. And one cat turns and just bites me.
Ooh.
Now, down, and I've got 4 puncture wounds in my arm. And I'm like, oh my God. And all that's going through my head is before I started chemo, they asked me if I had any pets. And they said they highly recommend to not have your pets in your house while you're going through treatment. You're not supposed to touch like feces or urine or anything like that. And you cannot even they don't even want you to get scratched by an animal. And I'm looking
Ooh,
down at 4 like legitimate
yeah,
holes,
yeah.
and I'm thinking, "Oh, fuck, fuck, what have I done? I'm such an idiot." And so I ended up in urgent care.
Oh boy.
I
What
ended
did they
up
say?
the next day, my arm was all swollen and red and hot. I thought, "Oh my god." So, yep, off to urgent care I went, and I finished my antibiotics today. All is good. I'm fine.
Good,
Everything, the
good.
infection is gone. But I'll tell you what,
So
I mean,
yeah,
the pressure a cat can do, I felt like I was bit by a dog.
yeah.
Like, forget the puncture wounds, that didn't hurt that bad, that I can deal with. The soreness from the bite, like the pressure, the jaw pressure, holy shit. I never even thought. I never even thought about that part. My arm was so sore, I couldn't use my arm for, like, days. Oh, so stupid. So stupid. Stay out of cat fights, people. Stay out of them.
It's good advice. Did okay, so what was it like having the girls together again?
Oh, it's so good. And every time they see each other, Keegan is so much bigger. So Dylan was like, God, she's just shocked by how grown up she is. And, it's just everything is good when we're all together. Just everything
Love it.
is, yeah, everything is
Every
where it's
parent will
supposed
tell
to
you
be.
that. It's the balance
Yeah.
is what it feels like. When you have your kids together, it feels like you have that balance. That's really cool. I'm glad. All right, so a couple things as you said, August 28th was the big day where, everyone's going to see Baywatch and all the work that you and Matthew and other people have done behind the scenes as far as making this what it is and getting the deal with ABC and Hulu. As you said, it's been well received. I didn't even think in my mind, what if it wasn't well received? Like, I
Oh,
imagine for you, you probably thought about this a lot. And I imagine any actor who does a project thinks about that too. Like, what are the reviews going to be? And, it's great. You guys hit it out of the park. You guys did a fantastic job, which is, it was so time consuming for all of you to see that it's been a success. That has to be a huge relief.
it is. I've never been so invested in how it was going to turn out, to be honest, like how well received it was going to be. I was very invested in it this time around. And yeah, it was trending number 1 for since it was released. It's been trending, and yeah, it's fantastic. I think people are pleasantly surprised by it, which I knew they would be. But it's also like you don't know if people are going to give it a chance. Some people may
Yeah.
like, boring. They just don't want to give it a chance. You got to give it a chance because it is definitely something special and something different. So yeah, I mean, everybody all around is really happy.
That is fantastic. I love that even people that you've brought on this show, that you're seeing them resurface. Like I'm watching them on social media and they're busy and it's really fun to watch. And you would know more than me or more than all of us as far as how the people that were involved, being interviewed and how, they're saying this is what I was hoping was going to happen or this is too much. But it seems like from what I'm watching from the outside, it seems like everybody's enjoying the ride right now.
Yeah, I think everybody's really happy with it and appreciative that it's because it is such a tribute. And it's a quality project. It really is. It's a quality project, and not a lot of that surrounds Baywatch all the time. A lot of it is like fluff and cheese and or expose gossipy stuff. So to have something so quality and so truthful surrounding the show, even the original producers and creators of Baywatch, who had nothing to do with this documentary, are happy and
Good.
thrilled. And yeah.
Good deal. So as you said, you're doing a lot of publicity right now. Um, so I imagine you're getting asked the same question a lot of times in these interviews. What's the number one
Over
question you're getting
and
that you
over.
say, I've answered this one 90 times, but I mean,
Uh,
is the one that is like a go-to question? It seems like there are a lot of bathing suit questions.
a lot of bathing suit questions. I think surrounding the documentary, the number one question is, what can people expect? That's like the first question is always, what can people expect? And you know, uh, yeah, it's just the same 5 questions, which
It's fine.
You know,
You know the
I
answer.
try to come up with different creative
Yeah.
answers that are actually the same but different each time, and it's wild.
That's amazing. I mean, it's as I said before, you and I even started the Perfectly Twisted podcast. It was something you and I had spoken about a bunch of times about this project and how much time you've put in. Years have gone into
Yeah,
this, and then to
yeah.
see where it's at right now, and to see it's been a success, I couldn't be happier for you. That's awesome. And I know Matt Felker's joined the show before, but couldn't be happier for him either. I mean, when he was one of our first guests we had on, and he talked about the process for him, it has to be okay to everybody he knows. It has to be, this was worth it. This is why I did it. For everyone in my family and friends who wonder why I did this and invested my time into this, he was right. Good for him.
He was right,
Good for
and
him.
it's such a relief because, I trusted him with this project. I handed over all my contacts, and I put everybody together in the good faith that he had the vision, and, I always believed in him, but, there's always that what if, and you don't know, and everything else, and it was his first time directing anything, but, he did it. He knocked it out of the park, and I'm so happy to have, helped him with to have this platform to do it, and, yeah, fantastic.
Just curious, in your mind, and even his, because I'm sure you communicate with him often. Do you talk about like what's next? I mean, it doesn't have to be Baywatch. I mean, before you got your cancer diagnosis, you were talking about, hey, you know what? I think I'm ready to jump back into acting. Like I'm ready to start, pursuing it again. Um, in your mind and his mind, have you thought about working together again, or what's next thing for either one of you? You don't need to divulge what it is, but just kind of curious.
A little bit. I mean, this has really been all time consuming. And once, you do all the work, and then once it hits, and it's a whole other line of work that you have to do that is just exhausting and time consuming and all encompassing. So, I mean, a little bit here and there. For me, I do want to get into acting. It's just that the industry is at such a standstill. It's so depressing. Um,
Yeah.
Sort of what happened with the music industry is happening in the in the television and movie industry. There's just nothing happening. No casting directors are out of work. Everybody's sort of out of work and sitting there going, what's going on? And it's dead. It's what they call dead right now. So that's a bummer. So I'm just moving forward. I wish I could have done Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. That would
I
have been
missed
awesome.
that. I missed that by
Well, wait,
a month or so.
yeah. Well, okay. So I have a question about this because I always say September is great for someone who like me who loves television. Our shows come back. That's what I always say. And then you always expect them to come back right after Labor Day, and sometimes they come back at the end of September. Sometimes they come back in October. You never know when shows are even being released, but it seems like just what Nicole said is this is one of those where it's not what it used to be as a viewer of saying, how come there's not a bunch of new stuff coming out all the time? It does seem like a lot of things are either at a standstill or maybe they're going at it as far as trying seeing to reinvent what the process is. And it's not just TV and movies, but as we all know, radio is basically dying. I mean, podcasts, most people are listening to podcasts on their music selection when they're getting in the car. And people aren't listening to the local radio stations the way it used to be. People aren't buying music the way they used to be. People don't get the newspaper the way they used to. I mean, those are things that
Right.
are changing, and you wonder if they're ever coming back. It seems to me, from an outsider, are movie studios and basically networks afraid to buy new shows, come up with new ideas? You've seen a lot of things that are repurposed of stuff we've already seen, and it seems like there's almost that there everyone seems a little timid to jump in and say, let's give it a shot.
I think that people are trying to figure out where AI fits in and how streaming works now, especially at post strike. I think people are trying to figure it out. This is it's an entirely different industry, and it needs to be ironed out. And it's just, yeah, I hope they figure it out and it picks back up and we get back to doing things. Like I auditioned for an NCIS recently, but it was, that's an established show that's
Yeah.
continuing on. It's not anything new. So it's yeah, And there's a lot of great actors with huge resumes that are out of work. So whenever there is a job, they've
Yeah,
got their choice of amazing talent to choose from that is,
good point.
wanting to work. So, somehow we got to find our way here
Yeah.
because yeah, it's really strange. It's just strange time.
The funny thing with streaming, for example, if I remember when, let's say Adam Sandler, when he signed a deal with Netflix, and Adam Sandler had, I don't know how many he had to do, but I think in my mind, and I think a lot of people who don't understand the industry was like, he just took the paycheck. He's not interested in putting out quality. Does that make sense? It's for me as a viewer. And then when people are talking streaming, and the people that introduced me to streaming were people who were even younger than me that said, I don't need to have direct TV or my local cable. I'm going to stream everything on my tablet or my phone, and I'm going to watch television or get my entertainment that way. More people like your oldest daughter's age that, I don't know if she's on a TV, but a lot of people I know don't own televisions, and everything's through whatever device they have. And you realize that wasn't just for kids that couldn't afford the $300 direct TV bill. This is the future. This is the way it's going to be. This is the norm, that streaming is this is your quality, and this is fine, but it's not a shortcut to taking an easy way out. This is how people are going to get their information. So if we're on a subway, if you're in a taxi, you're anywhere, you're there, you're set, you're ready to go and be entertained whenever you want to be entertained.
Yeah. It's
You know,
definitely
it's it,
it's definitely here to stay.
it's here to stay. It's not. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was not a fad, but just one of those that it wasn't a permanent deal. And I don't. I guess it's better because you and I have spoken about this. When I was a kid, Happy Days was my favorite show, but you had to be home at 8 o'clock on Tuesday to catch it because there was no DVR. There wasn't even TiVo. You know what I'm saying? When you and I were 7, 8 years old, you couldn't record it. You're
Yeah.
gonna miss it.
No, and then finally there were VCRs where you could set a timer and you hope that you got it.
Yeah.
But,
Do you
just like
remember?
with what?
No, I say, do you remember the VCR where there was the top loader? Remember you had to push the button and it loaded up, or you had the
Yep.
one in the front, and it was like the kids that had the one in the front that didn't have the top loader. Like, man, I think their family's a little bit more money than we have. That thing slides right in. You don't need to take the books off the top of it. It was like just
So
that
funny.
difference of the top loader VCR and the one that just slides straight in
Front.
was funny. But yeah, the VCR. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just following like the music. The music people used to buy it, and then it turned to streaming. You stream the music. Didn't go anywhere. It's taken over. Same thing with movie and television industry. Here
Yeah.
we are.
Exactly. Here we
So,
are.
yep.
Here we are. I'm excited this thing, obviously is a big success, and I applaud you and I applaud everyone that went into this. But I do hope now that you told us that, hey, you know what, I'm interested in pursuing this entertainment again, and acting is something that you kind of feel like you have the itch for. I want you to get your shot. Now I think all of us we want to see Nicole back in the movies and back on TV on a regular basis. We want to see what's next. We're all rooting
Well,
for you.
let's manifest it from your mouth
Yes.
to God's ears. Let's go. Yeah,
Let's go. Let's
let's
do
go.
let's go exactly that route. So are you exhausted from getting back though from the East Coast and all the interviews?
No,
No.
I feel really good. No, I mean, I was tired when I got off the plane and came home, but I woke up. I feel good. This kind of stuff makes me excited and gives me energy. This is how I know it's what I'm supposed to be doing because I don't wake up dreading all the interviews that I have that
Yeah.
day and all that. I look forward to it. There was a time and there was a day in my life that I would have dreaded, and I
Yeah.
would have been horrified that I had all of this stuff lined up. But not today. Nope, not this Nicole. She is excited. I'm excited. I have energy for it. I love meeting new people. Everybody's been so kind because that's the other thing. When you do a Baywatch interview, you have to understand in the past, you didn't know what you were walking into. You could be walking into some pretty snarky journalists or, uh, whatever press outlets, they lead you on with, oh, let's, I want to interview you, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of come at you a little snarky because they don't like the show or they want to make fun of the show. So, the fact that everybody has been just so kind and not laughing at it,
Yes.
and impressed by it and excited about it, it gives you energy. It just, it's infectious.
That's awesome. Just
Yeah.
curious, were you able to bring, or she might not have any interest in it? Were you able to bring Keegan along with you to any of the interviews? Does she care, or is it one of those like, hey, I want to go, mom? Let's.
No,
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 I
no,
want to see
no,
what it's
they
like.
stayed. I mean, when they picked me up for my, like, it was like 3:45 in the morning LA time,
Oh,
so she was sound
ouch.
asleep, and I let them sleep. In fact, one of the days I left that early, went and did, I don't know, 3 or 4 interviews, had a small break. I came back, she was still asleep. So, there was no, they don't care. They don't
Yeah.
ask me. They don't even wanna talk about it. They're just like, "What are we doing next? Are you done?" Nobody in my family gives a shit. They really don't. They don't wanna hear about it. I talk about it, they go, "Oh," you know?
Yeah. It's the same thing in my family. I did a popular morning show for more than 20 years. I think my wife listened as her maybe 2 episodes combined. Like, she just wasn't her thing. Then she gets to the office. Did you hear what he said about you? And then I would say, don't tell her anything I ever say. Like, the trick to the show is for her not to know what I ever say, because she's
Yeah.
not listening. I know she's not listening. But if I know she's listening, you're going to tell on me. The show's not going to be as good. Everybody stop telling her anything. Yeah, but yeah, they didn't care. It's just that was always the way it went. That's funny. I like that you're just mom. I like that.
They don't give a shit. The only thing is, Dylan opened her computer to Hulu, and she goes,
Yeah,
"Oh," because it was the first thing that popped up, and she's like, "You guys are number 1," and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's cool," and then that was
that's
that's
cool.
it. That's the end of it. And then she watched a little bit of it with me, and she thought it was great. I don't think she cares to finish it. Um, but she saw it, and there was a lot of footage of her when she was little in it, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go over, but I think she really liked it, so
That's cool.
all was good. But speaking of, I was watching, so when I opened my Instagram, it was not the same place as before the documentary came out. It was a much busier place when I opened it up, and I saw a lot of housewives on my
Yeah.
page, and I thought, "Oh shit." And I was like a little panicky because um th- like Tamra Judge liked one of the perfectly twisted posts, and I was like, "Oh my god." So I had to click on it to see which one it was. I was like, "Oh, no." And listen, when we talk about them and we talk about, it's all in love. Like I would die if Tamra Judge wasn't, the number one uno bitch on the show. I would die
Yeah.
without that entertainment. So it's never a personal thing. It's definitely
Never.
about the show. But
Yeah.
there's a
It's
little bit of like a
entertainment.
pitter patter when you see these
Oh,
people like looking at your stuff and you're like, oh wait, I didn't mean what I said.
oh my gosh. I love it, because that what she does and what those shows are entertainment. You and I are right in. We have a segment every week about it. The fact that if she knows anything or whatever, fine. I'll do it myself. I'll extend. There's an invitation anytime to come on. There's an invitation. We would love to talk to Tamara Judge. That'd be great. Or anyone else that wants to talk about it, because Nicole and I love talking about it. I gotta tell you, this past week I was at multiple events with a lot of people, and these young girls, I mean, when I say young, I'm saying 28 to 30 years old, immediately came up to me to talk to me about housewives. Had nothing to do with the event or my son or anything else. It had to do with, and we went through everyone. We went through New Jersey, we went through Orange County, Beverly Hills, and everyone's opinion on, and it was running basically a party of all the housewife shows, because of the show you and I do here, because of what we do when we discuss it. Everybody has an opinion, and we're watching. We like to be
Yeah.
entertained.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
that's cool.
sure. But yeah, it was interesting.
Hey, speaking of housewives, I know you've been busy. Have you been able to keep up with Orange County?
A little bit. I did see the Orange County, like, with one eye open. I was watching it um at my daughter's place. We watched it together, like half asleep. So yes, I did watch it. The It was so strange with the remake of the show that Tamara did for ABC. My mind is blanking. What's the show that she was on? Traders. When they did the
Yes.
Traders remake on the episode, it was just so strange. But
I was lost because I wasn't familiar with traders. I didn't
oh,
understand exactly how it worked out or what was happening. I mean, I watched, obviously the Orange County episode, the last one that aired last week, the most recent to this show, and it was interesting. I find myself more interested, and you sent me the basically the trailer of what the future was for the rest of the season before I saw it on television, and it like right when I thought those girls couldn't be meaner, it looks like it's gonna get much worse. When I see Tamara wearing the FBI hat, and I'm like, oh my
Uh-huh.
god. And then the fact that Emily was called out in the middle of the season for her behavior, and it seemed like she was shocked that she was coming off as bad, and it looks like she's trying to kind of make an adjustment. I almost said good for her for learning that, hey, you are kind of, if this is who you are, fine, but if this isn't who you are, you're coming off kind of bad. And
Yeah, she apologized, which I thought
yeah,
was good. You don't see that
I was
much on
glad
these
to see
shows.
that because I was really
Yeah.
frustrated to go, wait a second, did I read this girl completely wrong? Like, is she just trying to be more relevant, or is she really that big of a bitch? And then I kind of like that. Tamara looks like it's pedals down. Like no matter what, I'm just going to run you over. It just this. I mean, when she pulled the FBI hat out, I mean, you got to go out and buy an FBI hat. It's not like you got one in your closet. You had to literally go out and purchase it just to rub it in her face that you're going through a bad time.
Wait, did I miss an maybe I missed an episode.
Did you say okay? The last episode from the one you did was the one where they did the traders and Mellencamp pushed Hammer in the
Yeah,
pool.
Camera in the
Did you
Pool.
get
That
the
was the latest one, right?
okay, yeah, that was the most recent
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. But then when they showed the future of what's gonna
Oh,
happen the
they
rest of the
what's
season,
coming. Yeah,
yeah, what's coming.
yeah,
And I was like, oh my goodness, you know? Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Yeah, you seem like you have inside information before it was not just the trailers, but 6 months ago you told me stuff that was gonna happen this season that is already happening this season. You know what I mean? Like, how did Nicole know? In my head, I'm like, how did she know? Like
Well,
you're
there's
you're pretty
so
tied
many,
in.
like, chat rooms. Luckily for me, I have John who who knows a lot of this stuff, but there's, like, chat rooms and, there it's such a big machine, these housewives, and there's just so many people reporting on it and that have all the inside scoop. I don't really know much. I kind of just know what I see on when it comes out. I know a couple things here and there, but not that much. But yeah, you know what I've been excited to see is all the 90 day before the 90 days, 90 days happily ever after, the
Yeah.
90 days, all of that on TLC is that's what I've been looking forward to lately. Those that I've been like, "Oh my god, did I miss it? Is there a new one?" I'm loving those shows too. So anybody watching those knows what I'm talking about. They're crazy. They're so good.
Yeah. They're really good, really good. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing all the other shows as they come up. Just to, I think I told you before, but the ones that are coming back, Salt Lake City returns this month. Looking forward to that. Real Housewives of New York returns in the fall, and Beverly Hills is either late this year or early 2025. So that's the time frame if you're curious to know when your favorite ones do come back. So no, I'm excited for all of them for sure.
Yeah, and it was just Dubai. I think that was the final episode of Dubai, which was good. I kind of was going in and out of consciousness on that one last night, but it was good. I mean, I gotta tell you, I was like ready for bed at like 8 o'clock. I guess I'm still on a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's 11
I'll tell you,
o'clock
when
New
I
York time.
traveled to New York, though, I don't buy into that like jet lag. 3 hours out of your life as an adult is not that you cannot call jet lag on
Yeah.
3 hours. Like if you can't survive or write off 3 hours like it's no big deal. I don't know what to tell you. You better not go to Europe.
No,
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Like
yeah.
3 hours is nothing. I don't believe in that jet lag. 3 hours.
It's funny. Any sports fan will tell you, like, football season starts this week in the NFL, and anytime a Los Angeles team has to go back east, whether it's in Florida or Atlanta or New York, and they play equivalent 10 o'clock in the morning, we always stink. All the West Coast teams stink when they go back and they play 10 in the morning. They're like, you guys are all flying first class. You flew in 2
Yeah.
days ago. How come you guys aren't ready to play? We always look so
Yeah.
bad. And then so I'm like, is there something to this? And so I don't know. Again, I'm not playing sports after doing it, but as a fan, they're like, hey, how about a little bit of effort today, guys? It's only 10 in the morning. What big deal? What's
Yeah, and
happening here?
especially when you fly first class, that 5 hours is over in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
It's Ugh, yeah, no, no,
Ex
no.
ex exactly.
Well, you know what, you'll love this, Keegan and her cheer team are performing at Dodger Stadium before the game on Sunday.
No way. Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That is exciting. That's
How fun
exciting.
is that? Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is she excited by it?
Yeah, she's
Good.
excited, and she gets to do some, like, backflips that she doesn't normally get to do in competitions, because then that would put them in a
Yeah.
different, like, category, so she has to stay really kind of in a box for cheer, and so she gets to show a little bit of her skills, that day, so that'll be really fun. Yeah, out on Dodger Stadium field. So
That's
cute.
nice. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Good for her. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
that's gonna
All
be
right,
fun.
want to get to your mailbag. Let's
Let's
get to
do it.
Nicole's mailbag. And again, if you want to ask Nicole a question, it's easily you just go to the website, you go to perfectlytwistedpod.com, and you look for the mailbag in the top part of the screen and submit your questions. So we appreciate those. Here we go. We have 5 questions from Els today. First question says, Nicole, when you dated Corey Haim, did you also hang out with Corey Feldman?
Oh, of course. I mean, I've known them both for many years before any dating, before any of that. We all grew up in the same circle. And yes, I've known Corey Feldman since we were very young. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. Nicole, is there anyone in Hollywood that you can't stand besides you know who?
His wife.
And then
No, there is nobody else. He's the only one. No, I have nothing against anybody else for anything. Like, everybody to me, um, nope, got no beef with anybody. Nobody else, only him.
next question, Nicole, did you get an invite to either one of the roast of Pam Anderson or David Hasselhoff?
Yes, absolutely. I was there for Hasselhoff's, and it was funny because I was in the audience, and Seth started talking about me, and I started panicking a little bit, but he was very kind. So I took a huge sigh of relief, because very rarely are they kind to anybody
Yeah.
at one of those. And when my name came out of his mouth, I thought I was just gonna poop my
Uh,
pants. And he said something very nice, and I thank you, Seth MacFarlane. Thank you for
no
not
kidding,
ruining my
right?
life that night, huh?
I said, no kidding. I mean, I always say I
Yeah,
have thick skin. I want nothing to do with the roast. I couldn't
no.
handle it. I couldn't handle it. I'm telling you right now. I felt honestly, I felt terrible for Pam Anderson. Like I'm watching it. I don't know her, never met her, and I just felt bad for her. Just I was like, why would he sign on to this?
Well, I felt bad for her at Hasselhoff's, to be honest,
Yeah.
and I think it was affecting her. This was before her leave, if I'm not wrong, and she had come down off the stage at, like, a break and said, like, "Oh my gosh," and sort of expressed her concern, and just said, like, "You got this. It's okay. Don't take this seriously," and I just don't think she was expecting them to come at her that hard, because it wasn't her roast, it was his, but they come after everybody, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, you've gotta have your big boy, big girl pants on for that, for sure.
Oh boy, absolutely. All right. Question 4, Nicole. Were you on the cast of Baywatch when Pam Anderson was with Tommy Lee or Donna D'Errico was with Nikki Sixx?
No, Donna is much later seasons, I don't know. No, 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 not at all. But, with Pam, no, she was not yet with Tommy. I was on the first 2 seasons. It was seasons 3 and 4, the first 2 seasons of syndication. Pam and I first came on together. I did the 2 seasons and I left. She dated Tommy after that. So, I had heard that that was a pretty intense set to be on, so maybe I'm glad I missed that part.
You know what?
But
I think, yeah, I think a lot of, I mean, I wasn't part of the show, but I think a lot of people have heard the stories, right? That basically very protective, right?
yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure you've
there
heard the same thing.
Yeah, they had a very passionate relationship, so sounds like. So, no, I missed that part. She was dating David Charvet a lot, when we were working
Back then.
together, and
Okay.
they were fine. Yeah.
All right. So finally, 5th question. It says, Nicole, would you do dancing? If you did Dancing with the Stars, who would you like to do it with? Is there a particular dancer that you would like to be paired up with?
Somebody short.
That is
Somebody
funny.
short
No,
and very patient.
that's yeah, that's funny. That is very funny. I never thought about the height thing. That is funny. That
Yeah,
somebody's short
somebody
and
short and
and very
somebody very patient. Very, very
yeah.
patient. Yes.
Right. That's man. If I'm, I'd be in the same situation. I just want someone who's patient. Just don't tell me I suck at this. I'm doing the best I can. That's that would be it. Oh my goodness. Oh boy.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I struggle with choreography. Like, my daughter tries to get me to do these little TikTok dances, and by the
yeah.
time she's on the third move, I've forgotten the first one, so I get very lost. But, so yeah, they would have to pack their patience with me.
Oh boy, that is funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can remember things better than I could possibly remember dancing. For sure. When I watch these guys who will show you a simple dance step, same thing on TikTok, like this is how you do it. This is how it looks this way. I'm like, I don't even know how they got to step 3. Like, they're going in slow motion. I mean, if they'll walk you through it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm lost. I'm lost.
yeah,
That's 100%. That's funny that you said short because for me, I always thought I was one of my taller friends, and I'm not a great dancer. Never try to be a great dancer. I just don't want to be on the dance floor. People are staring at me, going, "What the fuck is that guy doing?" You know what I mean? That's what was
yeah,
always my fear was this guy looks weird. I just don't want to look weird in front of everybody. Just want to be
yeah,
out there. I just don't want to look weird. That
yeah.
is
Well, I'm so
that's
vertically
funny.
challenged, it would look very odd if they were tall. It
That
would
is
not be a
funny.
good match. So, yes, let's go with a shorter person.
All right. Els, appreciate the 5 questions. Again, you want to ask Nicole a question? It's easy. Go to Perfectly Twisted Pod, look for the mailbox right at the top, and we'll get those questions on the show. So that was really cool. That was exciting. I love the audience. I love that your audience always has something ready to go. Stuff that I would say I'd ask the same thing. So that was
Yeah.
awesome. That was cool. That was cool.
And don't
I'm
forget
glad
to
you're
like
back.
us
And
and
yeah,
subscribe to us
uh,
and all of that good stuff.
absolutely. I think I
Yeah.
speak for everyone. I'm glad you're back and you had a great time in New York. And I'm glad you got to see not only your oldest daughter, but to have the girls together. Had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun
Absolutely.
watching them 2 together and the love they have. So, yes. All right. Well, have a great week, and we will see you next time.